And we have a caller on the phone. She's a...
Is it a whoop whoop girl?
No, it's not a... Well, I don't know. She's from Texas. It's possible. It's possible. But she is a financial educator and tax credit expert. And her name is Miss Terry Chentel, calling from... Is it Dallas you calling from?
Yes, Dallas, Texas.
That's right. The Cowboys. That's right.
Hey,
the D house.
That's right. Cowboys are in the house. Okay?
By way of New Orleans.
Okay. Nolans.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, true that.
That's
Thanks,
it. Okay.
girl.
Oh, so did you come down with the Katrina people, or you just or how did you migrate? How did you migrate to Texas?
I moved here before Katrina.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a part of the Katrina people. I like how you said that, though.
Okay, great. Hey, we were just asking, just checking. You know what I'm saying? Because some of them folks that came down there, the
Katrinians.
Right? Yeah, hey.
Watch out now. Watch out.
Hey, now you know what? Before we get into you, I had a problem. I just want to know which side are you on here. Now, when your own folks get your own story twisted up and just throw it out there to the public for you to sit up there and try to plug in.
My God.
Now, what is your opinion about that, Miss Chentel, please? Could you chime in? Because I know you're on the man's side.
Here
Okay, so I didn't hear what's going on. I didn't hear. I was on hold listening to music the whole time.
Okay, so check this out. 2 weeks ago, I confided in my outhouse crew where I was in a relationship. We wouldn't call it domestic violence. It was just violence because...
where he was beat the hell up.
No, I was not beat up, Terry. I was not. Listen.
He ran up the street, girl. He was running barefoot.
See,
what that sound like?
80's a bully. That's what it is.
If I get somebody, man, woman, or child, to run up the street from me barefoot, and then I snatch them by the back of their neck like a kitten, man. What that sound like? That don't sound like you was winning, homie. You was not winning. You need to knock this off.
Terry,
you are in denial,
homie. Terry, those are two different incidents. Me running down the street.
More than one?
Yes,
girl. Yes.
Oh.
He keep on saying it's all one story. Like, because that's gonna make it better.
It will make it better if she let me finish. She keeps cutting me off and bullying the whole story. That's her problem. She's a big old bully.
Whatever.
Okay, so what happened?
Anyway, I was in it was a fight. Stop looking at me like that, AD. We on Facebook Live. She put on makeup. Now she got different looks. Okay. All right.
I got facial expressions.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. Here it is.
I was hit twice by this girl, and I was knocked.
Bing, bing.
I was knocked out, and then I was knocked back in. But I came back and I won the fight because I wrestled her, put her in the headlock, and called the police, and I won. There you go.
Oh my goodness!
And so,
I don't think that police calling makes you the winner.
It is because I didn't. Right, I think if you pay your taxes,
there you go.
Oh my!
Aren't you supposed to call
like you needed to be saved?
Whoever got arrested,
call the police on a woman.
That's it. Whoever
I'm
got
just
arrested,
saying. That's what it sounds like.
Terry, I pay my taxes, so is it right for me to call the police?
Yes.
Was your life in
Were
danger?
you running to keep from hitting her back, or were you running because you were
He's going to tell you the first option.
That's
Terry,
what I'm
the
trying
second
to
option.
Terry, look, we're here to talk about taxes, not in here to. We're not here
Now
interrogate.
you don't want to talk about specifics.
No, she's not here to interrogate. That sounds like you're interrogating.
Answer the woman question.
No, she's interrogating me. No.
I mean,
the lady is into
relevant.
taxes. She knows her specifics.
No, it was kind of
in specific sections that you're talking about.
Okay, Miss Chentel, you're an educator, so it was kind of a merge type of a thing. It was kind of both.
Oh, okay.
Right, you get it, right?
Sound like he was fighting and he lost. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Girl, tell him. Keep it G.
Terry, I heard that. Yeah. Don't think that didn't get past me. I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you should have just kept running, and then maybe the whole police thing could have been avoided.
Well, look, this whole thing came about was talking about how fast she was.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Right.
Okay, so she caught you.
Yes.
And snatched him, girl. Don't forget that. Snatched him by the back of his neck. You know, like how you grab a puppy out the litter. Be like, this the puppy I want. And
Terry,
just snatch it by the neck.
Terry.
Oh, my.
It was
Yankee.
Terry. See, look, it was my shirt. And when she grabbed the back of my shirt, my one gold chain was attached to it. And so I had to stop.
Grandmama gave me that chain.
Right, exactly. My grandmama gave me that chain.
He had to stop because he was finna get suffocated up in that shirt.
And Terry, you're from New Orleans. You already know gifts from grandma means a lot.
There you go.
Wow.
Well,
if it was an Outhouse T-shirt, you can write that off on your taxes.
Bam.
That's the win-win on it.
No, this happened. No, let me tell you something. This happened years ago.
Again, it was just a loss, girl. We just trying to say it was a loss. He need to write it off as a loss and stop trying to convince us that this was a win. It was a win for
I would
her.
call it a capital loss. Yeah, just
It was a win for her.
Wow. Okay. Look, I went through all these measures to get Terry on the show, and she just come here to us, just tear brother down.
They was trying to say earlier how they was trying to outnumber me, but it seemed like everybody on my side. Funny how that works, huh?
Okay, Miss Terry Chentel, what do you have to share with us today? Now, we know it's tax deadline's coming up on the 15th, and this is when black folks get scared.
Wrong. It's not the 15th. I know for sure it's the 18th.
Is it the 18th?
Boom.
It's the 18th.
Okay, well, 3 days later, black folks get scared. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
When
Black
it
folks
changes to
need
18?
them extra 3 days.
Right, okay, so, but is that a true deadline?
Yeah.
It's true for people that owe, especially. If you get a refund, it doesn't really affect you, but if you owe, then you'll get a penalty added as well as interest starts accruing if you don't file it by that time and pay your bill by that time. So, yes, it's a true deadline.
Okay, so is there a way to avoid that? To avoid those penalty fees if you owe and you're late?
You can avoid the penalty by filing an extension, but the interest is charged no matter what. It's due by that time. Yeah, it's no way to avoid that. And I had a few people, a lot of people, they hear about, let me incorporate, and they don't understand that you have to file an entire month early. So I had all these people that were gung-ho last year getting legit, and then they came to me to file their taxes like March 22nd. I'm like, you're already late. You're an LLC partnership. That's actually March 15th. So, and it's a heavy penalty. Wow. Yeah, that was a heavy penalty. Each partner is fined like $500 plus then some. Yeah, that's a heavy one.
Wow. So, man, we got to pull a Trump move and just don't even pay our taxes.
Yeah.
And it's good for the president. I'm just saying.
Yeah, how did he not pay his taxes?
How does it? Well, I'm sure.
He probably owns the taxes.
Well, Terry, I'm sure that's another segment for another day about Trump and his taxes. But we're going to get to see. My first question is kind of relevant to what's kind of to us. Now, we started this radio show as a very kind of like, let's get together and do this type of thing. And it just blew out of proportion. And so it's kind of a home-based business if you kind of think about it. Because we really don't have an operating office. We don't have clerks, so we don't have interns or anything like that. So how can a home-based business save on taxes like us? Wouldn't you consider us a home-based business kind of?
Well, are you if you're at an actual studio, then it depends on all the operations. Probably not, because you're at an actual studio. Now, if the studio is at someone's house, then yes. But in general, home-based businesses save a lot because that's the only way in opportunity you get a chance to write off a portion of your light bill, your water bill, your interest, or your rent if you're renting an apartment versus owning a home. All of those things, there's no other opportunity to write that stuff off except if you operate a business under that roof. Okay. So that's the great thing about a home-based business. It turns all kinds of personal stuff into expenses that you can write off, which is great.
Right. Even though we do research and gather all our content at home, just because we spend that few hours to put out our content, that makes the big difference in terms of home-based and actually doing it somewhere else?
It goes off of your principal place of business, mainly. There's a lot of rules and specifics in it. First of all, who actually really owns Outhouse. So if it's a partnership, when you're getting in home-based businesses, it's usually one person. So if all of you are writing off those expenses individually and, depending on the structure of that business, then you can say, yes, I'm doing all of my content research, my materials, I'm marketing from home, I'm doing this and that, and then I just step out for a second to do the show for an hour. you can structure it in that way. I work from home, and I also have an office across town right next to the Cowboy Stadium, actually. And I still file as a home-based business because I structure my business where I do most of my work from home, and then I go see clients there from time to time. So there's a trade-off there. It gets a little specific, but you definitely can do it that way.
Okay. Well,
I would do what gives you the most write-off. That's what I do with my clients. I sit down and I talk through, okay, which one is going to be better, and then, that's what you are.
That's right. Well, that's what I think that kind of fits with us because we do spend like a couple hours here, but most of our work is done at home. But even though there's a bunch of us doing it, so that's something we probably need to get into. And so,
then definitely.
Yeah. Then so why is the tax? Why is credit important now more than ever?
It's important because right now I like to say that your credit is your financial personality on paper. And there are so many things where your taxes and your credit is important in order for you to elevate. If you want to buy a house, what do they want? They want your credit score and your tax returns. If you want to get a car, they're going to run your credit. And if you're self-employed like you are, they want your tax returns. If you want a job, if you want car insurance, they are looking at your credit. In some jobs, you can't even have back taxes because the IRS is in your business in every aspect, and they can garnish your wages, all kinds of stuff. So right now, I think we're in an era where people are thirsty for knowledge. They are regular people. They're smart. You guys know how to make money. We know how to make money, but there's just some aspects that we haven't educated ourselves on in depth because of the generation that we grew up in. But now I think we're like, what do you call that? Woke, how people say that. We're waking up and we're trying to just make sure that we're best positioned because we're seeing that it's real out there. Things are changing and people can come in and just turn things upside down. And if we aren't prepared mentally and if our minds aren't in the right place where we're more concerned about our wealth and our financial stability versus just, the clubbing and hanging and clothes and this and that, I think that now we are realizing that we have to have ourselves together so that we're set up for the future so that someone like Trump or anybody can't just come in and pull the rug from up under us because we're used to a system that we can no longer survive in without good credit and being on top of our taxes.
Wow. So what do your taxes? So what do your credit have to look like now to buy a home? So what's the whole structure of it? Because there was specifics. I mean, the 90s, there was different standards in 2000, then 2010. So what is it now?
It changes. With an FA loan, you want to be at about 620. And then you want your tax returns to reflect the income that you need to get approved for a house. So it takes both. A 620 is going to get you a pretty decent interest rate around, maybe it's like around 4% now. And then you guys would, let's say you're 100% home-based business. If they're going to want your last 3 years of your tax returns and they're going to average that income out. And I like to give this when I say that every $50,000 gets you around $145,000 in terms of a home loan if you don't have debt. So you just use that scale. You can figure out what your tax return needs to look like in order to get approved for whatever house you want to get. And you guys are in California, right? It's pretty expensive to buy houses out there.
Not only that.
Yes, ma'am, it is. You have to give up one of your firstborn children to get some property.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
See, that's the beautiful thing about down here in the South. We're buying houses left and right.
And you know what? They're squeezing me. I am looking. My son is in college, graduate. I don't have any reason. I have any reason to hang on to be in California other than it just being just a great place to live, LA. I'm really considering jumping out. Georgia's been the first state, but I've also thought about Texas. But they be hanging brothers down there. I don't like that.
No, it's not like that.
Last time I was in Texas, it was 115 every day.
No, it's not like that. I mean, I'm not going to lie. You do experience some racism, that real deal, eyes on the prize,
Confederate flag.
You can, yeah. It depends on where you are. You know that feeling where sometimes
don't let the sun go down on you here, nigga.
Exactly. Yeah, like
it needs to be gone by the time the sun go down, because you know you don't live in this area.
Wow.
How they look at like our hood or Compton or New Orleans, like that's how I look at, like a farm. I'm like, ooh, who lives there? No.
Right.
If I'm like in a cowboy land or something like that, I don't want to be there.
We go to Texas. Me and my boys, my best friends, we go to a cowboy game once a year. Every year we come down there to Arlington.
I got family in Dallas, so I'm going to Dallas in June.
Right.
And Dallas is nice. It's just the heat. I'm down there during the summers, 115 every day.
It's hot. It's hot. It's very hot.
And the city life I can deal with because it's fast, it's vibrant and everything. And I can deal with the city life. It's like, again, it's just so hot. It's expensive down there as well.
It's nice though.
Right. Let me tell you my experience when I first went down to Texas Stadium, and a friend of mine had hooked us up with some tickets. And so we go to the Texas Stadium, Jerry's World, the day before, and we get our tickets and we get our parking pass. And our parking pass, I'll never forget, was like $80. It was an $80 parking pass, and we was high fiving. Right, we were high fiving each other, thinking we was parking in the stadium.
No.
We was like, and we was
parking next to Romo,
and we was rooster like we got these tickets Saturday afternoon. We were like rooster strutting around Texas all day. You know what I'm saying? We was like, high five each other every 5 years, baby. We parking on the 50. What, you think we parking on the 50-yard line? No, probably the 20. Yeah. Like the 20, midfield, probably about the 20-yard line.
Wow.
We high five the cheer. I'm talking about with Dallas Cowboy cheerleading. I'm getting with these, these parking passes. So
these fantasies he had.
Right. And so I forgot that main street as you drive down to go to Texas State, but we hanged on this main street, and there is a resident area, and there was these people outside holding these signs for parking in their, on their lawn, on their lawn, right?
In their yard.
In their yard, right? What? So we drive down the street, and the first sign I saw was parking on my lawn for $100. Right, and I never I turned to my buddy. I was like, I don't think we parking on the 50-yard line, dude. Right. No. So we end up parking by the baseball stadium, which the baseball stadium and the football stadium is kind of adjacent to each other.
Right.
But we end up parking in Arlington Park and end up walking all the way back to Texas State. That is a nice walk. But let me tell you, when they first built that stadium, I didn't know any better. And when Beyonce came to town, I wore some heels. And it was torture. You know that walk of shame.
I learned that before, girl. Trying to see Cat Williams be cute.
Right.
You be mad by the time you get to your seat. Like, man, I could have worn my Jordans to see Cat. Shoot, my feet hurt.
You look like Shaggy.
You ain't a joke funny enough to make me forget about my feet hurting.
Yeah. That's a long walk. That's a long walk.
It is, but let me tell you though, Terry. It was our first Cowboy game, and they give the best tailgate parties in the world at Texas Stadium. And so, they had everybody was cooking. They knew we was from LA, and we was eating and drinking, and almost missed the game because we was outside having such a good time out there in Texas State because they have a DJ out there. They got food, and it's a big party going on outside. And so, we got to use the restroom. We go into Texas Stadium, use the restroom, watch the game. We come out, they still there.
Oh yeah, that's all day.
They still there.
Sun up to sun down.
Right, and they're still there, man. I'm like, these people, everybody can't call in sick on Monday.
Yeah.
Right, now all these people.
Yeah, this is a football city. Have you ever been to a Saints game, though? They party, too. It's a nice tailgate at Saints game.
No, but I have been to the Bayou Classic, which is kind of like I've been kind of close, but this is pre-Katrina. I haven't been there since Katrina.
We'll have a whole stage and a mini concert before the game sometime. So
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's a real party.
And so the whole transition to Texas, you liking it?
Oh, I love it. I've been here a long time. I actually went to high school here, though. So I've been here a long time. Yeah, actually, when I was in high school, I went to the games all the time. I was a part of a team where we volunteered to be the seat pointers, point you to your seat. And so we used to run on the field, and we had access to the whole stadium. So That was fun.
Well, we'll be down in November or December, so we need to hook up. And is your husband a Cowboy fan as well?
Saints.
Oh, he's a Saints fan.
Fan. He would dare not.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. You got the little video quarterback over there.
Yeah, and you can call a business trip. I hope you're saving those receipts and writing all of that off, right?
Yeah, oh well, we're trying to work it out. We're trying to work it out. Our budget's not that wide again. We trying to we're trying to see we get Spirit Airline to get a 4-for-1 deal, and see we all come down to Texas.
You gotta bring your fold out chairs.
Right. And so Terry, appreciate you calling into the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And I got a couple questions before you go.
Yeah, go ahead.
You had more fun with us than you had with J. Anthony Brown?
Oh. Say yes, Terry. Say yes.
All right, now. Don't have you start rumors.
Don't make me start getting my poop package together, girl.
All right, now.
I will send a whoop girl down to Dallas. The correct answer is yes, homegirl.
All right, Terry.
But listen, I already know if I start running, you can't catch me. So.
Shots fired, ladies and gentlemen.
And the engineer.
Let's get this.
Yes.
I just want you to know, Miss Chentel, you are not welcome back to this show ever
Don't
again.
listen to him. He can't run fast enough for you to listen to him.
Yes, definitely have fun with you guys.
Man,
Thank you so much.
We appreciate you.
Fun.
You made it fun by telling us that we need to get our money right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And I appreciate
you. Well, we all do. That's what we're here for.
And when you come to LA,
each other up.
if you ever come to LA, you got to come into the Outhouse because we have fun in here.
Okay, I will definitely do that.
All right.
I definitely will.
And I appreciate you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, DJ.
Bye, girl.
Day.
DJ.